Are we good?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome to our first global mass meditation as an engaged couple. Oh my goodness, you guys, it's been a hectic couple of weeks. We've had visitors, we had an engagement.
We thought we had other visitors, but it was something else. We'll talk about that at the end.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it's been a busy week, and now we're joining you all on this full moon for a much needed meditation. It's been over a month since we've done one, so let us know how you're feeling. The energies are always very intense around a full moon, usually 3 days leading up to and about 3 days after the full moon. I think it peaked this morning where we are at like 7 o'clock a.m. So we're right in the energies. So let us know how you're feeling. I know some people turn into werewolves and go all crazy. I'm just kidding.
All the unawakened ones. Yeah, welcome one and all to Sunflower Life. We're broadcasting to two other channels, the GFL station and Above and Beyond Duality, both channels we own. But this is the hub, Sunflower Life. I'm David, this is Kelly. My divine counterpart here. We do these global mass meditations every month now. We used to do them every week. So if you're new, we use a variety of different spiritual teachings and sort of pull them together into one home, if you like, as the family of light. We are blessed to be here with you. So we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes or less, I'm going to say. So get all your meditation stuff ready, clear the space wherever you are, get comfortable. Get headphones if you need to. We layer in music to the guided meditation that we're going to do. We do the meditation typically in 2 parts. Well, it's 3 really. I will start with an activation. Kelly will do a large body of the meditation, and then I will finish. And we'd love to hear, at the end of the meditation, stick around. We'd love to hear your thoughts and see how you felt, whether you had any visions or people have out-of-body experiences. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on.
Oh, yeah.
All very positive and energetic, but all kinds of powerful stuff that happens.
Lots of tears, lots of releases. So if you like to meditate with, crystals or, we always just suggest having some water or a Kleenex box or whatever you feel comfortable. Some people like to sit down. Some people like to lay down. Like, this is your meditation.
Because
shift happens.
A few of you have picked these t-shirts up, but so every week we have a feature. Every month, we have a feature design for our specific show. So if you do want to support us, head on over to the store after tonight's show and pick up a copy of tonight's feature design, which is not Shift Happens.
This was our last meditation feature
month.
Design. Yes.
So let me just show you.
So David will bring up the feature design for this week, and I will let you know it won't be this long until we see you guys again. Our next upcoming meditation is going to be December 12th. So in about 2 weeks from now, it's the 12/12 portal. It seems like it's going to be kind of a crazy day. So the 12/12 portal, it's also going to be a new moon in Sagittarius, and it's also Mercury retrograde that day. So big day for that one.
Cool. So as you can see on your screen, guys, just a quick promo here for this week's design. One with God mode on. Love this one. Men's and women's hoodies, and we've got men's and women's tees as well. Head on over to the store if you want to support us after the show and pick up a hoodie or a tee. And if you want to use the Cyber Monday code that we set up specifically for today and tomorrow only, so expiring on Wednesday, guys, so today and tomorrow only, go SFL 15, SFL 15.
Can you put that on the screen?
Yeah, it's in the description for 15% off in the coupon code at the checkout there. So anyway, that's today's
David's been working really hard on our website. We actually had it offline for the last couple of days, and he just relaunched it, I think, last night. And it's going to be a much friendlier user experience. I know a lot of people were getting like security errors and are you sure you want to proceed every time that you went to our site, even though it was fully secure. We had all the certificates. We were just getting these funny errors. So
the Oatmeal Heather, love that one.
Oh, anyway. Oatmeal Heather. Yeah, baby.
I love it. He's a really nice guy. So anyway, that's
it is very nice. Yeah.
Feature meditation, as you can see here Embrace the presence of the one infinite creator within you with this comfy premium hoodie.
No,
Anyway.
honey, you do a great job designing all of these hoodies and all the clothing himself. He designs everything himself. Again, with our website and everything that you do, it's always just like very, very on point and professional. And
Right.
definitely we'd appreciate it if you guys would check us out, and we'd always love your feedback. So thank you.
So our number one goal is to add value and serve you tonight. So let's get started in about 60 seconds. We'll talk about the website and other stuff. We've got some other stuff to share at the end of the meditation, which will be in about 45 minutes from now. So stick around until the end. But until that point,
You all know it's going to be more like an hour.
it's going to be more like an hour. Let's get comfortable, guys. Let's just settle into the energies as the family of light. Going to layer in some music here for you all. So in the chat, as ever, if you can let me know how the music volume...
Woody and Karen, nice to see you guys. They said we are very blurry. So, you know, we make sure we have the highest speed internet where we are. We've got all this technology, and it seems like no matter what we do, we still end up blurry, glitching out. You know, tech tends to just kind of bug out around us. So we always say that with light workers. I don't know if you guys notice that too. Whenever you're gonna go pay for something, the whole machine seems to just like need to reboot. And I don't know, technology and interference, maybe the full moon energies. It's really just a big energy day. We have certainly been feeling it. So hopefully that sorts itself out. And David's got this beautiful background for the meditation anyways, and he's going to layer in the music. You've got the music going.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right, so you shouldn't really need to see us anyways.
Okay, well, we're racing towards 250 live already, so let's get started.
Gonna be a big one.
It is. Right, guys, so let's just settle in here to tonight's global mass meditation right after and still very much deep in the full moon energies, November the 27th. And if you've seen, as you just logged on, the background picture here is the moon goddess, or one of us. In fact, we're all one. One, utilizing the moon energies to connect to the one infinite creator, the God within us. Let us feel into that. Whatever you feel about the moon, whatever you feel it is, whether you feel it's artificial, whether you feel it's real, it doesn't really matter.
It still has an effect on us.
There are still energies at work that we can take advantage of for the power of the light.
There are laws on this planet that as Earth humans we need to abide by, and the law of gravity is one of them.
Well, maybe tonight we should be leaving that behind. All right, guys, so let's settle in. Take one or two or three deep centering breaths.
I can feel everybody's energy in here tonight. It's going to be a powerful one.
Yeah. And get comfortable. The ideal position for meditation is one where your physical body would interrupt. Whatever that is for you, whether you're lying down, sitting down. It's great if you have your back straight. Let's just turn that music down a little bit. But let us take 2 or 3 breaths together, ongoing, centering into the present moment. And if you feel called to do so, bring in your guides and your team at this point. Invite them in. Station them around you. Feel their presence. As we call in the archangels of the 4 directions, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Uriel join us now at the 4 cardinal points. Overlight us in protecting light. presence of great higher beings with us, all for the purpose of the light. Let's begin with Alice Bailey's soul invocation. Let's feel our higher self enter into the physical body just a little bit more with this invocation. You can say it out loud or just listen along in your mind. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am divine design. And to enhance and support, to be with us for tonight's meditation. Around the world, we call and ask for the presence of Jesus the Christ, Saint Germain the Loved One, Zoroaster the King, Zarathustra the Magi, Lao Tzu the Old Sage, the Buddha, Babaji the Eternal One, Lahiri Mahasaya the Smiling Guru, Sri Yukteswar the Teacher, Paramahansa Yogananda the Gift, El Moria the Lord of the First Ray, Kuthumi the Great Guiding Light, Dwal Kul the Master Teacher, Paul the Venetian, Serapis Bey the Lord of Ascension, Hilarion the Bringer of Joy, the English Master Douglas Baker, the Keeper of this ashram, Krishna the Avatar, Sanat Kumara, the Planetary Logos, Amun-Ra, Vesta, Helios, the Solar Logos, Isis, the Great Mother, Mary Magdalene and the High Priestess energies, Kuan Yin, the Incandescent One, Aina, the Ninth Dimensional Guide, Mohammed the Prophet, and Joshua, who walked with God. The Masters in us, Yahweh in us, Saviors in us. Take a deep breath in through the nose and hold at the top. Take a deep, deep breath in. Activate the pineal. Activate. And when ready, release. And take another deep, deep breath in. Light up the cave. Bring the pineal online. Activate. And when ready, release. And a final deep breath in. Hold at the top, lighting up the cave, the great source antenna, the pineal. And release. Feeling another depth of relaxation. Feeling another depth of connection to source within. As we go deeper.
Family of light, hello and welcome to tonight's global meditation, where we will tap into the potential of these energies of the full moon that peaked earlier on today and use its intensity to the fullest. As this heightened energetic state as this heightened energetic state amplifies our emotions and brings clarity on how we really feel, opening a window of opportunity to manifest our deepest intentions. Our collective intention for this meditation is to make a choice and decide in each and every moment moving forward to shift away from the material way of living and move more towards the spiritual and soulful path in this lifetime. You may have other desires and intentions that you want to bring in, but ultimately tonight is about going within and making way to connect and commune with God, the Creator, the universe, Source, and our highest self. You see, we already have all of the answers. We have already lived every life. Yes, we may have forgotten this for a brief and temporary period, but all that is required to remember is to bring yourself back to the present, silence the thinking mind, and become receptive and allow the answers to be revealed, allowing the truth to find you. The full moon is a time of peak illumination, symbolizing completeness and clarity, which creates a sense of harmony and balance throughout the universe. Our goal tonight is to recognize as within, so without, an expression which is also a universal truth, showing us that the outside world is a reflection of our inner world and vice versa. As what we feel and what we believe tends to manifest in our lives, we are planting seeds of completeness, clarity, harmony, and balance by tapping into these full moon energies all around us. Each of us, here and now, listening to these words, each of us, our individual consciousness made manifest into this life, all choosing to be here together, seeking, walking the path of spiritual unfoldment, and discovering the secrets that have remained hidden for so long. And as much as we are individual consciousness expressing itself, we are also all from the same source. All spiritual beings in this great wide world, here to raise above the limitations of personal sense and to experience the nature of our true identity. So what is our true identity? First, let us ponder that there are really not bad people and good people. There are not sinful people and pure people. There are not sick people and well people. There are only those who do not know the truth and those who do, the illumined and the unillumined. Those who are in sickness, sin, or poverty are the unillumined. They do not know their true identity, and they are therefore wandering in the wilderness, seeking for harmony, but seeking for it in the wrong direction. They are struggling for things, for fame and fortune, honestly believing that when they attain these, they will have attained their goal of happiness, peace, and contentment. But do they really? Are they not usually in the same misery they were before they attained them? True, they may be enjoying their misery in a more luxurious surrounding, but misery is still there nevertheless. And the reason is that regardless of the outer attainment, the inner self is still starving and thirsting. In the unillumined state of being, each person has a life to live of their own, a life destined to be manifest on earth for lifetimes to come, lifetimes subject to disease and death, and lifetimes that begin and therefore must end. This constitutes the unillumined and what we call the human race. When a person is illumined, however that is, when they know the truth of their real identity, losing all capacity for sin or poverty and for disease as well, they will lose the potential for evil in life, but only in proportion to our illumination. The illumined do not live by laws of limitation or by the laws of good and evil. They live by grace and by truth revealed, not a grace and truth separate and apart from God, but a grace and truth as the life of a child of God. The individual, illumined with the understanding of the nature of God and the nature of their own being, is no longer a creature, but is now the heir of God living under grace. Once even the tiniest little crack of insight into the nature of God is opened, the rest will come with ease, because now, instead of blind faith, there is a complete relaxing from mental strife, struggle, and the effort in the realization that, since God is infinite wisdom and light, we can rest and let God illumine, instruct, and guide us. With even a small measure of spiritual illumination comes the realization that God is not to be prayed to, and that there is nothing for which we can pray for. And though we may walk in the darkness and ignorance of the unillumined, this light is with us wherever we are open to behold it. Even though we may walk through the valley of the shadow of death, this light of life is here with us, and in moments of darkness, we need only turn within, quietly, peacefully, and gently. Turn within, for thou art the light of my life. The illumined rest in a thankfulness that God is light, wisdom, and all power. The unillumined beg God, plead with Him, and try to enlighten Him as to what they need on earth. This is the difference between the unillumined and the illumined. The unillumined and the illumined are the same person, just living two different lives. In the absence of illumination, we are individuals with many problems, unhappy, unfulfilled, incomplete, and unfinished. But with our first glimpse of the spiritual life, even though we seem to remain the same person, wear the same size clothes, hats, shoes, and probably even look the same in the mirror, we are not the same. We are living from a different standpoint, with a different experience, and under different conditions. So regardless of what or who we may have been as an unillumined human being, regardless of the condition of our human sinfulness or purity, lack or wealth, in the moment of illumination, the past is wiped out and the new way, the new life opens up. This way is the acknowledgement of our divine oneness. No matter what appearance touches our life in the form of sin, illness, lack, or unhappy human relationships, the way to overcome it all is by the way of oneness. And this way, no one can walk for us. It can only be walked by us. And how is this done? Only by an activity in consciousness. Only by virtue of consciously knowing the truth of the way. By virtue of my oneness with my source, I am infinite, I am spiritual, and I am under spiritual law, which means I am under grace, not under the laws of matter, but under the grace of God. The moment a person begins to know the truth, they break down barriers, they are set free. The truth reveals the universal nature of God's love. But let's face it, we are mentally lazy. The truth is available, but we do not know the truth. We read it and say, "Isn't that beautiful?" We hear it and say, "That's even more beautiful and even more powerful." But then we'll probably go home and either wish we could make it come true or hope to find a spiritual teacher who will do it for us. But no one can do this for us. And the fact is, we are humans of earth until we know the truth and we demonstrate a sufficient degree of it so that we reach a state of consciousness which is no longer restricted by ignorance, superstition, or fear. In that state of consciousness, we are enabled to penetrate behind the realm of the mind into the realm of divine consciousness. But it takes spiritual illumination to make that possible. And we have the choice now to make the initiation, which is a significant milestone on the spiritual journey of going from darkness to light, from material sense to spiritual consciousness, from the unillumined state of consciousness into the illumined, where the goal and the result are always the same, which is the development of a transcendental state of consciousness. Whenever an individual attains a very high state of consciousness, or what is understood to be illumination, they are said to be enlightened. Great spiritual teachers such as Christ Jesus and Buddha received complete illumination and became the light of the world. But illumination really just means going from a human state of consciousness to a spiritual state of consciousness, the transcendental or Christ consciousness, which is above and beyond the human. And while it is not beyond possibility for any human to begin to attain it to some degree, it cannot be experienced by the human state of consciousness. So coming back to the subject of truth, we find truth is revealed on two different levels, the mental and the spiritual. On the mental level of the mind, great works and feats of magic can be performed. And sometimes this misleads people into believing that they are witnessing God in action, when it is nothing more, nothing less than the action of the mind. And it is vitally important that every aspirant on the spiritual path recognizes and knows the difference between these two approaches. Whatever exists on the material or mental plane of life can be used in two ways, for good as well as for evil. Yet, the effects of spiritual consciousness, on the other hand, can only be used for good. The difficulty lies in that the spiritual world is not something of this world, not something that can be seen in the appearance of things and form, for it is seeing beyond the appearance, beyond what is on the surface. The difficulty is that in this life, we are spiritual beings born into a mental and material world with little remembrance of our true self. We are born into this world, which is a mental projection, a matrix, so to speak, in which we live, consisting of all the limitation we come under through a universal belief in two powers. And what we are really doing on the spiritual path is trying to wipe out the matrix by realizing that we are not living in any form of human limitation, and we're unseeing the human picture and becoming consciously aware of our spiritual selfhood. The more we attain a living realization of the spiritual nature of our being through meditation, the fainter the matrix becomes, and the closer we are to becoming one with infinity and eternality. The moment we perceive that there is but one life and that we are living that life, the matrix is being removed, or at least being rubbed out, so that there are only faint traces of it left. For centuries to come, there may be remnants of the matrix in the lives of all of us, but it will not be so much that it imprisons us in a material concept of life. Every meditation that results in an inner response accelerates its fading. Every experience of depth in meditation makes us less subject to the limitations of the matrix, less subject to the calendar, to climate, and to the changing economic conditions of the world. One of the troubles of living inside the matrix is that we fear and resist change. If our particular matrix is half comfortable, we want to live in it. And while humans naturally resist change, spiritual unfoldment compels change, breaking up all the old patterns. This is not something that comes as a natural evolution of progress. Because human beings try to hold on to the past, hold on to present limitations, and are unwilling to break through for something new. If we were willing to surrender each day what we had yesterday, we would find something better tomorrow. But our very attempts to hold on to what we have takes it away from us. The only way in which we can remove the matrix harmoniously and without pain is by allowing the changes to come without living in or trying to hold on to the past, and by not believing that every change means failure, even though it may temporarily carry with it a lack of some of the material comforts. The wiping out of the matrix is only accomplished as an activity of consciousness. It is dying to our humanhood and birth to our spiritual identity. This is not a physical death or birth. Dying daily and being reborn of the Spirit is purely an act of consciousness. And if we do not do it here in this lifetime, we will still have the opportunity again, but the passing from this plane into another experience does not of itself remove the matrix and place us in eternity or give us immortality. In fact, if we leave this stage of our experience in the human sense of life, we will awaken in the human sense of life in another matrix. But within the degree of every spiritual realization that we have, and with every meditation that results in a conscious contact with God, the matrix is growing fainter and fainter until eventually, in the final conscious union with our source, will come the complete elimination. The spiritual universe has a different set of values from the material. In our unillumined human state, we do not realize that in order to prosper and flourish, we must live in accord with spiritual laws, not in accord with our own will or personal desires. We cannot act as if there were no such laws and then expect to live harmoniously, nor can we escape the operation of spiritual law by attempting to make up our own law as we go along. And one of the first steps for anyone on the spiritual path is to learn that on the human level of life, there is such thing as the law of karma. As you sow, you shall reap. A law that we set in motion individually and collectively. And even though we think and act, we perform, every thought we think and every act we perform sets in motion a law of action and reaction. This law operates within us. It knows what we're doing, and it will reward us accordingly. Scripture credits God with that, but it is not God. It is karmic law. There is no God in heaven looking down, patting you on the back, saying, "Oh dear, that is so wonderful of you. I will reward you." No, the law itself, the law that we have set in motion, knows and will operate to reward us openly. On the other hand, we can do as much evil as we feel inclined to do, and even though it might be completely secret and no one ever learns about it, that same law will react upon us, and eventually we will be punished. Whatever law we set in operation today will return to us tomorrow, next year, 10 or 1,000 years from now. We are creating our tomorrows today, even into the next lifetime, and the next, and the next. This has nothing to do with God. This has to do with you. It has to do with me, and it has to do with our individual selfhood. But because there is only one self, that which we do to another, we are really just doing to ourselves. The good that I do to you has a way of returning to me, the same way the evil that I do to you also has a way of returning to me, because there is but one self. It is like taking money out of my right pocket and putting it into my left pocket. Regardless of where I send my dollar or my love, it ends up in my own pocket. And when we know that, it changes our whole concept of giving and sharing from one of division to one of multiplication. There is only one selfhood. There is only one being. And everything that I do to you, I do to myself. And everything that I do to my enemies, I do to myself. There is only one self. There is only one divine being. And anything that I do to harm your life has its reaction on mine. Anything I do to another must return to me. We may think that it's hidden, but it is not hidden. It remains in the one place where ultimately the score is settled, and that is within. There is not a thing that we can think or do that is not known to ourself, nor that ourself does not return to us. It is as simple as that. This karmic law will eventually make us pay for every wrongdoing and will reward us for our good deeds. It is not doing it. It is not God doing it. It is the law that operates within us. In this whole world, there is only one self, and that which constitutes myself constitutes yourself and the self of every person, in spite of the fact that each one expresses their identity in an individual way. There may be 1,000 oranges on an orange tree, but there is only one life. So too, there are millions of people on earth, but there is only one life. There is only one self, and that one self is God, Spirit, yourself and myself. In any given moment, we can begin to prove this if we set aside a daily period in which to realize that God is ourself, that Spirit is the life and essence of our being, and that no evil can come near us or our home because God is our dwelling place. To know that there is but one selfhood and that one is God is to set ourselves free. We may not demonstrate it in its completeness because the world's mesmerism still touches every individual, and as long as we are on earth, we will still have some problems to grow through. But yes, it is possible to be free of most of these problems if we realize that God constitutes individual selfhood, my selfhood, your selfhood, and the selfhood of even those whom with we do not agree. To know this truth of God's identity as individual selfhood means that we recognize whatever good we are setting in motion onto ourselves, and whatever evil we are setting in motion onto ourselves. This begins to set us free from any capacity to do evil, even though for a while it might not be easy to be completely free of this temptation. Nevertheless, from the very instant which we realize there is but one self, we begin to lessen the world's belief that you and I are distinct from one another, or that we can do good or evil to one another, because each one of us is a law unto themselves. Often we bring more trouble upon ourselves through our ignorance of this principle than by any evil that we actually attempt to do. Even humanly speaking, there are very few really truly evil people in this world. And perhaps 90% or more of all the evil in the world is committed through the ignorance of truth. And even the evil for which we ourselves have been responsible for is not so much because of an evil nature as it is an ignorance of spiritual truth. Had we been taught the principle of sowing and reaping early enough, our lives would unquestionably be much different. But it is not too late. It is never too late. Our lives will be different from the moment we consciously accept the fact there is but one self, and that what we are doing to another, we are doing to ourself. Always it seems we are thinking something. We are either knowing the truth or not knowing the truth. We are either thinking spiritual thoughts or collective carnal thoughts. Always we are either placing our faith, hope, and trust in the infinite invisible that is within our very own being, or we're placing it in something of material nature. But in one way or another, we are setting in motion the law that in the end will either reward or punish us. And it all comes down to the individual. Abiding in the Spirit, we set in the motion of good karma. On the other hand, living with our thoughts, constantly dwelling on our human affairs, is setting in the motion of karmic law of good and evil, with the possibility of a multitude of error, discord, and inharmony, because we are sowing only to the surface. And what is going on in our consciousness determines whether we are sowing to the material or whether we are sowing to the spirit, and whether we are setting in motion the karmic law of good or the karmic law of evil. And we do not always reap what we sow immediately or quickly. The karmic law will adjust all these things in its own time and in its own way. But the important thing for us to understand in this moment is that when we return evil for evil, it is set in motion a karmic law of negative nature. So let us instead return good for evil, not for the other person's sake, but for our own sake, because we have the knowledge of how the law operates and how we set karmic law into action. If we are thinking, well, that means that I have a lot of debt to pay for my previous sins, right here is where we get to the most encouraging aspect of karmic law. That we do not have to confess outwardly. In fact, it is not wise to do that. All we need to do is confess within ourselves, that was not right. I know better than that. I am done with that. Whenever we make a confession within ourselves, we have annihilated the evil results of karmic law. The karmic law does not have to be worked out generation after generation unless we choose it to be. In other words, if we decide to cling to our humanhood, we can be assured that the karmic law is continuing to operate. But at any moment, if we choose to do so, we can come out and be separate and apart from it. That way, the past is the past, it's done and away with. And we set good karmic law in operation by sowing to the spirit. Our conscious oneness with God constitutes our oneness with every spiritual being and idea. That means that we are all one, and as we love our neighbor, as we love ourselves, and act toward another person somewhat in the same way that we would like to be acted towards, in that degree, we are setting forth the spiritual law in operation. So the responsibility of a spiritual student is great. No one else has quite the same responsibility as do those of us on the mystical path, because once we know better, we do better. Knowing the truth, following spiritual principles, sowing to the spirit, only this will bring our regeneration, resurrection, renewal, and finally, our ascension above all materiality. And in this heightened state of consciousness, as God is acting and doing through us, and we have become the illumined, karmic law will then forever be nullified. Now, dear family of light, now that the principles and foundations have been laid in our awareness, let us finish with a moon gazing exercise. I would like you all to begin to visualize the full moon now. breathing deeply, envision the full moon in its entirety and connect with its energy. Feel yourself absorbing the radiant light. Go ahead and visualize your intentions for yourself and the path that you are choosing to take forward in this moment. Feel these intentions merge with the full moon energy as it begins to amplify their power. Let us spend a few moments here in quiet contemplation as you relax deeper and deeper into the mode of receptivity.
So let us take a deep breath in now as we head into the final little quarter of tonight's meditation in what will be a powerful little activation and a message from our brother of light, Archangel Michael. As we feel the full moon energy is strong and pure, if you need to readjust your position after sitting and listening to those wonderful truths, please feel free to do so now. If you need to just move the body gently, just roll the shoulders, move the head around, and just recenter and get nice and comfortable. For those of you joining us live now for the first time, with almost 400 of us live, I invite you to join in, close your eyes, get comfortable and get centered. It is fine to pick up the meditation here, but we do encourage you to listen to the whole thing back. To truly know is to be, not to know about. What do you know in your life, beloved one? Do you know what truly knowing means? To know we are one with God is great intellectually. But what does it mean to realize this within our consciousness? Think about that for a moment. Did you know that God is one with you now in this moment? A simple exercise to get still and be quiet and realize this. Imagine the organs in your body doing what they're doing now. Maybe they're digesting food. The lungs are certainly working, helping you breathe. The cells in the body are distributing oxygen all over your wonderful body, a temple of God. Did you ask any of them to do this? Of course you didn't. But there is, if you like, a magical presence within you now, doing all these things. The heart is beating tirelessly and endlessly. For the Spirit of God runs deep within you, as you can see by this simple exercise. What a magical thought. I would encourage you to engage in this contemplative meditation as a highway to connect with God as much as you can, as many times as you can, through as many days as you can during the week. Watch what happens when you do. So take a deep breath in and let it go. It is time to journey within so deeply. Bring your awareness to the celestial gateway. It is a rectangular golden door just above the bridge of the nose and just behind. Imagine that golden doorway flooding forth with light, golden white. And if you are ready to go another level deeper, journey into the doorway and through. And as you do, a great flash of light transports you to your own personal pyramid of light. A giant quartz, crystalline, etheric pyramid of light, vast in all directions. In the center is a great etheric table, which you now walk towards. There is a giant terminated quartz crystal stemming from the ceiling to just above the table. There is a being of great white light, almost blinding, standing beside the table as you approach. The energy is oh so familiar. It is our brother of light, Archangel Michael, with a message and an activation for those who are ready. As you hear these words, allow them to, if you will, move through you, move into you, activate you, uplift you. Beloved Masters, the process the world and humanity are now experiencing has been spoken by many wise sages and masters over the past 100 years or so and beyond, and yet most have not taken heed and have continued on a path of self-destruction. Humanity has built an illusion of wealth and abundance materially, but it was built on the quicksand of greed and fear and scarcity. This giant bubble of illusion has now burst under the pressure of the living light of truth, brought forth by you, the vanguard of light. What humanity is now experiencing is the cause and effect, or the karmic results, of following the impulses of the ego desire body instead of the whisperings of spirit. Of course, I do not refer to you listening to this, but those who maybe are in ignorance of this truth. Many dear souls have never experienced lack or deprivation and have lived a life of instant self-gratification, while others who believed the old teachings that they were not worthy of abundance have lived many lifetimes of scarcity and deprivation. You may not believe it at this time of great suffering, but the circumstances all humanity is feeling with regard to the abundance will eventually result in great, great blessings. For as the suffering and pain of loss become great enough, more and more dear souls will turn inward for answers, and all the forces of the higher realms will be waiting to answer their pleas and offer assistance. Remember, you are one of those to offer assistance. Think nothing less of yourself, beloved one. As the Supreme Creator radiates more and more of the elixir of life throughout the omniverse at this time, it is affecting all creation. You cannot hide from it, you cannot deny it. Your lifeline to your source is growing stronger and more persuasive all the time. The magnetization factor is growing stronger, and you are indeed magnetizing to you in stronger and stronger measures that which you have claimed as your reality. If you believe that you must live in poverty and chaos, that will be reinforced and magnified in your life. If you have accepted the truth that you are entitled to a life of beauty, joy, prosperity, and abundance, that reality will unfold before you. So let us move closer to tonight's activation, and remember that meditating regularly from within the sacred heart and striving to integrate as much of the adamantine particles of Creator Light, or God energy, as humanly possible will result in this process becoming a constant source of miracles in your life as you become a co-creative self-master of the highest order. So, beloved one, if you will, if you feel ready, lie down upon this great table inside your pyramid of light. Gently merge with your etheric replica lying on the crystal table. Feel into the integration. Feel a great oneness. Bring your awareness now to your sacred heart center. With each breath, imagine your consciousness begin to expand, to incorporate all of the planets in your solar system. Take a moment to feel into that deep connection. Continue to breathe deeply and feel your consciousness expand to incorporate the entire galaxy. Continue this deep breathing, working with the breath, as your consciousness expands to incorporate the universe. Now envision, however you perceive, the magnificence of the planets, star systems, and galaxies. Feel the very pulsations and the sacred heartbeat of these wondrous creations. Now feel within your own sacred heart the power and majesty of the vastness of space, the great void filled with the unmanifested potential of love light. Feel the richness and the power and the wonder of creation's pulsating rhythmic cosmic breath as it joins your breath and you become as one. Now envision yourself as the center focal point within this universe, as the flow of divine light radiates forth from all directions towards you. See the prisms of light refracting into rainbow colors. These contain all the virtues, qualities, and attributes and potential of creation. Continue to breathe deeply and use the breath as you ingest this gift of love life and enter the river of life flow of the never-ending supply of divine light substance. Now when you're ready, bring your awareness back to your physical vessel lying on the crystal table. Breathe in. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. As you breathe, see a magical green elixir flow forth from your sacred heart center in an infinity sign, a figure 8, both front and back of the heart center with each breath. With you as the receptacle and the conduit on the material plane, the great creator particles of pure light substance will pour forth into you from tonight onwards, and from you in a never-ending supply. You are ready for this, beloved one. These particles will stream outward into the material world to all around you, to be molded into an unlimited variety of physical manifestations via your intentions, your will, and your actions. Be mindful, ever mindful, of your intentions at all times, for you are a powerful creator. And tonight you have leveled up. Remember, when one is in the dream state, one can create instantly. It is with this level of care and attention that I and us in the higher realms ask you to be diligent with your focus at this time, beloved. So if you are indeed ready to level up, say to yourself now or out loud, or just listen to these words: I reclaim my divine birthright and my connection with my higher self, my soul family and all the beings of light, and all those I am to work and commune with, in order to access and relay the cosmic wisdom and truth that I am to integrate and share. Here and now I reclaim my self-mastery and move to the next level of my ascension. I reclaim all the qualities, gifts, virtues, and attributes of my real self, my divine self. I accept now to be a walking, living, personified example of love, harmony, abundance, and joy. I am divine love. I am divine light. I am divine will. I am divine wisdom in action. So be it, and so it is. So take a handful of deep centering breaths. Let us integrate these energies into our body, into our consciousness. And when you are ready, sit up on the crystal table. Feel the power of the Creator within you. As you look across to one of the corners in your great pyramid of light, the golden doorway awaits you, ready to return back to the physical body. So if you are ready now, walk towards the great doorway and enter through. And with a great flash of light, you entered back through the celestial gateway, and you're back in the physical body, sitting or lying wherever you are, on earth. So take a couple of deep breaths, and I will count us back from 5 to 0, 0 being fully awake. 5, integrating all the bodies back into the physical and feeling more grounded. 4, starting to move the physical body as you wish. 3, rotating the torso from side to side gently. 2, just rolling the shoulders. 1, just wiggling fingers and toes. Moving the head softly from side to side, about to be fully awake. And 0 whenever you're ready. Eyes open. And welcome back. Take a moment, there's no rush, my friends. Take a couple of breaths, there's a big one. Lots of information to integrate. Lots of energy to absorb.
Oh, yes. Well, it's been a while since we've seen everybody, so I think it was much needed. I know every time you say come back to earth, come back to our bodies, it's the last thing I want to do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, welcome, my friends. We hope you enjoyed that. Welcome back, I should say. We're blessed and honored to be here with you to do these meditations, which we will continue. If you want to see the meditation schedule, head on over to our Instagram page. There's a post on the wall with all the upcoming meditations. If you never want to miss another Global Mass meditation, go to our website, thesunflowerlife.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, and there's a spot to enter your email address to be entered into our mailing list, where you will go into it automatically. But thank you for being part of tonight's powerful full moon meditation. Speaking of our website, yes, it has been redesigned. We're in the process of just speeding it up a bit. It's a little bit too slow for my liking, but yeah, head on over. There's lots of good stuff there. We have our online store there, as we mentioned earlier. We have a few protection prayers and activations on there. There'll be more coming in the future. But yeah, we just had it redone, so it should be nice and clean, nice and fast shortly. And I know many of you encountered an error with it, which is now fixed. It took me a few days to sort of take it offline and redesign the whole thing, but yeah, it's going. So, but yeah, thank you for being with us. Let us know what you felt with that meditation. Did you feel any activations? Did you feel any releases? Did you feel nothing? Would love to hear your thoughts. What are you reading here?
I just was laughing at his comment where he said, "You're far younger than I've been picturing this entire time." It's just because we're reverse aging. We've been saying that for a long time. Yeah, I think that we like to think that, we kind of live above time, and, we certainly stopped celebrating birthdays and putting emphasis on a lot of this material stuff, because really, that's what ages us, right? Mm-hmm. So
100%, yeah.
I just get a kick out of the comments, and I feel like I don't read them enough. So yes, we have our Instagram page up. You just popped up on the screen. So we'll have our meditation schedule up there. And yes, it would be great for you guys to give us a follow, because we are only going to be doing these monthly meditations now. We kind of talked about it, and that means that we get to leave it open to do a few more pop-up meditations. So a couple of times, like over the last few months, where we had natural disasters and wildfires and all the things happening in Lahaina and all over the place, and the war with Palestine and Israel, all of that stuff. So we do like to do a lot of grid work, but only when we feel kind of called to go in and, when there's something happening on a global scale. Again, we're always open to feedback. And if you guys really think that we need to do a meditation There's a lot more that we wanted to plan. We are doing the 12/12 portal coming up. That'll be the next one. We usually do the winter solstice. I'm going to be leaving like that day to head back for Christmas. So we're not sure if we're going to do a pop-up that day. But again, stay tuned with our stuff and we will absolutely let you guys know.
But in the new year, we are going to be doing, I think what will be, we'll see how this sort of shapes out, but in the moment, in concept, a 7-day chakra cleanse and a meditation, sort of a shorter meditation than today's one, sort of half of it, but a 7-day in a row as we go up all the chakras and cleanse, clear, and activate each chakra. And we're preparing some really, really powerful meditations based on a wonderful channel who's got some really great chakra activations and healings on his page. I've been doing for many years and are very, very effective and have been for me. So we're going to remaster those and we're going to do the 7-day cleanse with you. So again, get on the mailing list, guys. Don't miss out on the things we've got coming up because there's going to be some powerful ones. Going to be some really strong activations and connections. And it's just great to get together where we can't do it live in an event. We'll do some of those in the future. Those are coming. But while we can't do that or while we're not doing that, then these live gatherings here, we feel your energy and we read your messages, we read your comments, read your emails. Of course, there's many hundreds and thousands of them every month. We can't get back to everyone, but we do read them. So do keep them coming. We do our best to reply to as many as we can. But these are very, very powerful planetary shifting events that we are taking part in with these meditations. Very important. And you're going to see a bit more chaos in the world. It's going to get likely much worse and much louder and much more chaotic. And we invite you to...
peace, be still.
To be still, because, in our life, as we embody more and more of our soul, our source energy into our physical body by daily practice, our life just continues to get incredibly more abundant. It's already amazing, but it keeps going to new levels. And you could say, well, that's great for us. And it's not enough for us. We want to share that with you. We want you to experience that. Many of you are, but some of you are not and are still finding life quite difficult in the material body. And it does not have to be that way. You do not have to struggle through karmic lesson after karmic lesson. You can get off the wheel of karma instantly, like literally now. All you've got to do is move the needle into alignment and start working that out.
And make the choice.
And make the decision, which is what today's meditation was all about, to decide. And of course, many of you have made that and are on that path, which is wonderful. But we want to help as many people get on that path as possible because this is the age of light we're heading into.
But it's so true that, a lot of you have been with us since the beginning, and we started doing global meditations almost 2 years ago together. So you've probably seen our growth and our progress and, how we've changed and shifted over the years. And we're just going to keep growing and we're just going to keep leveling up and we're just going to keep raising our consciousness. And, as we be lifted up, so does everybody else in our consciousness. Yeah. So that really does include this global audience of people that joins us. You're in our consciousness, we're in yours. And as you guys raise in vibration, so do we. As we raise in vibration, so do you. And so do all of the people around you in your entire conscious field. So, we're all working together. We're all cheering you on and we're all one. So, we just want to see everybody experience that happiness and that joy and that peace. And just know if you're not quite there, like it can absolutely be attained. And like 3 years ago, I didn't know this man. I was not there. Trust me. I was in a low place. I was very much not liking my situation, my job, my everything about my life, my relationships, everything. And now here I am engaged to the man of my dreams and doing everything that I love and finding so much joy in life. And it does get better. You just have to make the choice to put yourself first.
Yeah, to go within. And for those of you who experience other people saying, oh no, you have to pay attention to world events, you certainly do not. because the world events are based on illusory concepts. So if you choose to do that, fair enough. But I certainly, how do I get the shift t-shirt? I certainly do not pay any attention, virtually no attention at all to what's going on, even through what spiritual people are posting, because many of them are still posting what's going on. They're essentially propaganda arms for the DF, the Dark Forces, without even realizing it. Sorry, it's kind of harsh, but that's sort of what you're doing if you're continuing to post more material and negative concepts.
Well, we post and then we focus on
Right.
it and we put attention into it and we
Right.
believe it to be true. So then it absolutely manifests on the outside world, as within, so without.
Right, which is why the first thing I shared in tonight's meditation is to truly know is to be, not to know about. And in order to actually know, which is realization, which very, very few people actually ever go near, but many more than ever now are, important point, is you start to move out of the material ways of being and start stepping into the spiritual ways of being. And there are levels to it. You have to practice it daily. Many of you are. Some of you are just very new to this. So, yeah.
And that doesn't mean that our hearts aren't with, the people who are going through things. And someone just mentioned, the war in Palestine. But again, we have to be so careful with like sharing posts and even just, is that an accurate post? Like so many of the little Palestine children, I know that, there's bombings and things happening over there, but some of the images that are coming out, it's like the kids have 6 and 7 fingers and, it's just an AI image and it's been rendered. And
some of them, yeah.
a lot of the stuff, like it's so hard to tell if you're not there. It's just so hard to tell what's real and what's not. And when we just put our energy into like feeling horrible for people who are going through terrible stuff, do you think that we are contributing to that narrative, that story, or, trying to switch it and see them, as children of God? And maybe some of these people who are going through horrible things, I don't know if this is okay to say, but maybe they were really horrible in another lifetime.
Maybe.
You just don't know, like, what is playing out in that karmic law, in consciousness, and what they're here to learn. But I really do feel like we all agreed.
What did I say to you today?
I really do feel like we all agreed to be here at this time. And
I remember Kelly today, we had to deal with some Matrix stuff. We had to change our phones over. And Kelly I wasn't actually in the room when this happened, but we were in a store in town, and she got quite a...
I got just this rude person.
Quite a rude, at least a misaligned at the time. We don't know what this person was
just
going through.
Just mean to me. Like, I wanted to cry. I was so upset.
She seemed very abrupt and just hung up. And I said to Kelly, because of course, guys, we don't feel necessarily as deeply as women do. I said, well, maybe you murdered her in a past life.
You probably murdered her in a previous life. So, basically she has this right to come back and,
Anyway, who knows whether that's
treat
true.
Me like this.
We're certainly not saying that there aren't atrocities going on around the world, and that there is extreme atrocities going on right now. There are, if you look at it from the human perspective, but there is a bigger picture to be seen. Most importantly, if you participate tonight, if you're listening to this, you are a leader. You're a spiritual leader. And that means that we abide by the 3 mantras of leadership, which is seeing things as they are and having compassion for them, but not making them worse than they are. Then we have an opportunity to see them better than they are, to create a compelling vision. And then the third thing, the most important, is to make it that way, which is to be the example, be the change, right? So see things as they are, not worse than they are. See them better than they are. Make it that way. The 3 mantras of leadership. And it's not good enough just to see things and just continue to see them as they are. If we don't go and embody the new example and be the change, we're not going to make a change.
Oh, yeah. How easy is it to get see something horrible happen to somebody else, and it ruins your day. It you feel that in your heart, and you're like, oh, this is so terrible, this is happening in the world, and it just sticks with you, and then you slowly just go into that downward spiral of like, you know, fear and worry, and then we get angry, and then we feel like we need to fight and we need to do all these things. And yeah, we're just really trying to just rise above all of that, you know, blaming and finger pointing and believing in the things that we see and we hear. And we just know truth in our consciousness is that everybody here is just a child of God. So we just try to view and see them as such, so that they be lifted up. We don't want to like replay the same story that's already, you know, been told. We want to change the story.
Yeah, make shift happens.
Happens.
Whoever asked where you get the t-shirt from, it's pinned in the chat in the comments, whichever channel you're watching from right now. It's in the video description on the Sunflower Life official YouTube platform.
Maybe unpin that one.
No, because it's at the top and you can see it. You can go.
I pinned that. That's Thomas's comment.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so that's not like the...
No, it's not.
Oh, is it? Okay, okay.
It's not. It's good.
That's our pinned message.
It's pinned in the messages.
Okay.
And it's also in the description of the Sunflower Life official YouTube channel. Failing that, you can just go to our store on the sunflowerlife.com, go to the store and find it. But it's easier to navigate via the links, of course. Cyber Monday, guys, until the end of tomorrow. So today and tomorrow. And then beginning Wednesday is the cutoff. Type in SFL 15 to get 15% off all orders from our website. And if you do want to support us, that is the place that we would love you to go to get one of our designs, one of our little high vibe shirts or hoodies. It's hoodie season. It's getting cooler if you're in North America.
It's sweater weather, baby. It's almost December. It's so crazy. We still don't have snow. We are just so blessed and loving life because of that right now.
Yeah,
but yes, this full moon usually marks the fact that winter is just around the corner. So if you guys want to support us, absolutely what David said, buy yourself a hoodie. Did you want to talk about anything else, hon? I know we went really long today. I know my part of the meditation was really long. We went really long. You don't want to tell them about the alien fingerprints or...
No, we'll save that.
You'll save that for another day?
Yeah, we've been over too long.
What about the Above and Beyond Duality store? David just launched his website on aboveandbeyondduality.com. I know a lot of you know him from that channel. And you still got Black Friday deals on?
Hold on. For 24 hours. SFL 15.
SFL.
I just put it in the chat, guys.
In the chat.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
there we go.
Yeah, I just launched a new store, Above and Beyond Duality. Of course, that channel's been up and running for a while. We're racing towards 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is going to be fun.
So proud of you, babe.
There'll be an announcement on that platform. We've got a very exciting podcast coming up with incredible girl, actually, a light language channeler and a wonderful light worker, Laura, and there'll be more on that. We'll announce it shortly.
Yeah, she has a channel called Light Codes by Lara, and David did a collab with her. She actually channeled a bunch of light codes, and then he put them onto some t-shirts, and he has that up on his store. So just all the stuff that we like to design is obviously designed to raise your vibration, and when people look at it, it's either going to just raise their vibration by looking at the sacred geometry or spark a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, more on that coming up. I'll advertise that in the next couple of days here. But thank you so much for being here tonight, guys. We'll let you go. You've been here for so long. Thank you for being here for so long. We love spending time with you. We can't wait to do more live events in the future. We are about to start building, I've already begun, what is going to be a global platform for an entirely new spiritual community with an entirely enclosed way to create money online. We've done so much of that we just want to share as much as we can to help people get free from the financial side of things. Of course, true freedom comes from realizing who you really are. But while you live in the material world and are still bound by some of these laws, the way you make money can be very limiting from a time perspective. So we want to help people with that because we've really we're in an amazing place and we want to help as many as we can. So that just a big project coming up. We'll announce more on shortly, probably after Christmas. But yeah, we just
big plans as always.
Big plans, yeah.
And
go on.
I was just going to say that we should probably shut things down.
Yeah, I was just going to close.
Okay, go into close. If you guys are joining us from any of the other channels, Above and Beyond Duality or the GFL station, we are going to cut the live feed so the video gets cut off. So if you want to replay this meditation, the only place you'll be able to do that is the Sunflower Life official YouTube channel. That's all I wanted to say.
That's all. Okay, well, thank you guys. We love you deeply and dearly. And until the next time, we will see you then. Towards the light we go.
Thank you, Sean.
Have an amazing week ahead of you. And we encourage you to watch this back as you see fit. And spend more time with God every day. Just get quiet. Only in that stillness can God really be found. And God, the all infinite creator, is with you all the time. But only when you bring awareness to it, him, her. That's very, very important. So we'll see you soon, guys. Have an amazing few days. And until next time.
Towards the light we go.
Towards the light we go.